Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Kabir Considers. In this video, we're going to react to a 9/11 survivor describing her escape from the 95th floor. This is going to be an interesting one. 95 floors high. You are super high up in a building that's currently, on fire. It's teetering on the edge. You can feel it. It's not stable. It's dusty, it's smoky, you can't see very well. You're likely super shaken up, full of adrenaline. Just being in that situation, what do you do? Like, you're just thinking, survive, survive, survive. And there's many who didn't survive. So it's going to be interesting just to see and hear, her tell us how she managed to get down, because the stairwells going down those stairwells must have been really scary, because you just don't know if the building's going to hold up. Just thinking about it is actually kind of crazy.
There are moments in life that can shape us profoundly, such as a divorce, becoming a parent, a critical illness, or a near-death experience. It's those moments that invite us to stop, pay attention, and take stock of our life, its meaning and purpose. Today I have the honor of speaking to Mikas, a survivor of the 9/11 attacks. A couple years ago I've seen a documentary from that particular day and stumbled across her story, which really captivated me. And for whatever reason I looked up her profile on LinkedIn and instantly connected with her. So 2 years later, as I was planning a trip to New York City, her story randomly popped up in my head again. And I don't know why, but I took a chance and asked her if she would be down to meet up for a video about her story. And to my surprise, she agreed.
So my name is Mikas. I am originally from New York City, and my background was finance. And so my background consisted of growing up in New York City, learning finance when I was a teenager. And that actually led me to having a job that was located in the World Trade Center.
Can you share your experience of what happened on 9/11 and where you were at that time, maybe briefly?
Sure. So, as many people know, that day had to be one of the most beautiful days in September in New York City. The sun was shining, it was nice and warm. And so I took the elevator to my floor, which is the 95th floor of the World Trade Center, Tower 2. And when I got up to the elevator, I went to my desk, put my briefcase and purse down, and a guy that I was dating called me and he said, "How's your workday going?" And I broke up with him a couple weeks before, so I said, it's fine, I don't want to talk, I have to go. As soon as I hung up the phone, I heard the roar of an airplane engine, and then a boom, and then someone said a plane just hit Tower 1.
This just in, you were looking at obviously a very disturbing live shot there. That is the World Trade Center, and we have unconfirmed reports this morning that a plane has crashed into one of the towers of the World Trade Center. CNN Center right now is just beginning to work on this story.
I didn't know what to do. I remember grabbing my purse, grabbing my briefcase, and running towards the stairs. My coworker, Lori, who I never spoke to, she was working on the other side of the floor, she grabbed me. She pulled me into the elevator. She said, "You're not taking the stairs." And I said, "But in an emergency, you take the stairs."
Yeah, because what about if the elevator, if the cables that hold it, what if they tear? What if they sever? You're just going to go...
But no, come with me in the elevator. We descended to the 90th floor, and that's where the legal offices and everybody was. It was pandemonium. It was people were crying, people were screaming, and only one other person came into the elevator with us. The 78th floor was the main elevator bank of Tower 2. So that's where everybody
Oh, I see. So she was in the building that had...
ran towards the main elevator. Hundreds of people were pushing and shoving into these elevators. And
Dude, I'm getting the stairs.
I remember one person saying, "There's no more people. You can't come in. You can't come in." And usually, the descent from the 78th floor to the lobby, it would normally felt quick. It didn't feel like it was forever. But this time, in that elevator, people were crying. People were shaking. I was shaking. We got to the lobby. My coworker Lori ran for Liberty Street, the other side of the World Trade Center. I walked the other way, and as soon as I got to the lobby, I saw one of my coworkers go into the elevator. I pulled her out and I said, "Don't go in there." Port Authority announced that there was nothing wrong with Tower 2, so everybody should be going back to work. That's what...
What? They said you should go back to work? That is insane.
she heard, and that's why she walked into the elevator, and I pulled her out. I said, don't go in.
Back to work?
I walked out of the lobby, and that's when the second plane went into Tower 2.
I cannot believe a plane has just gone into the building right next door to you, and you're telling people to go back to work like nothing happened. That is insanity.
So I saw something going into the building, and then someone knocked me to the ground because everybody just started screaming, running.
Yeah, panicking and running.
And my coworker Andrew was with me, and he said, "Let's go to South Street Seaport. That's the only place that we could find that's safe." Whenever I saw people on the street, a lot of them were crying. A lot of them were bloodied. Like some of the people. I actually saw some people jump from the higher floors. So in my mind, I'm thinking that could have been a coworker. So walking, I thought, did I die too? I didn't know if I was dead or alive. Actually, I couldn't see the difference between death and living at that point. So I was like a zombie, pretty much just walking towards the South Street Seaport. And then
Wow.
all of a sudden, we heard another boom. The tower began to collapse. People started running towards the water because the way that it was collapsing,
Crazy.
it looked like it was going to collapse on us, even though it was like a few blocks away. But obviously it
Dude,
did
I would
not
be
fall. But
running.
the debris just came. I was covered in silver debris. I couldn't breathe. There was just something was in my
Look
throat.
at all of that. Wow.
That day
Oh
just...
my God.
I remember that day so vividly because it's so poignant in my life, and because I live here again, all of the memories are starting to come back. So that was the day when I came to my mother's house. She came home 15 minutes later. My whole family thought I was dead. Nobody could get in touch with me. My brother was actually planning my funeral because he thought that I was dead.
What? No
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, he didn't know. He saw the second plane collapse, the second tower collapse, and he was like, "I have to plan her funeral."
Are you kidding? Hopefully he tried to call her a few times before he started planning it, like picking out the casket.
So both yoga and meditation, the peace that I found within myself helped me deal with the trauma, the post-trauma that came from 9/11, because every time I would hear something, every time I would smell something, it would trigger, like burning rubber. It would just give me a sense of, oh my gosh, like it's happening again.
Yeah.
But meditation, keeping me in the present moment, that actually helped me through every single time that I was dealing with a traumatic event or having the traumatic thoughts. So it was helpful.
Okay, so meditation was basically the solution to you.
Yes, because it was keeping my mind in the present.
Yeah.
And even though I know that happened, I'm safe right now.
Okay.
Gosh, man.
Yeah, I assume it's gotta be some sort of strange for you walking past where the towers once stood, right? I can imagine.
Yes. Going to the memorial is something I don't do unless there's someone in my family who's visiting from out of state or out of the country. They want to come because they want to see basically what I went through. They want to get a glimpse. They want to feel at least what I felt with.
Yeah, I've been there. I was there in November. It did feel like there's like an energy to the place. Maybe it's because everybody there is quite somber. The mood is quite somber and you can see all the names and stuff. But yeah.
My friends, and and it's painful because I show them the names of my friends who passed away, and that's very painful for me because these people, I went skiing with them. These people, I hung out with them after work. They were my good friends, and to see them gone within a second, and then your life just changes. So I won't go to the Freedom Tower. My best friend is also a 9/11 survivor, and she won't go either. We just have a thing where we know that the World Trade Center was there. That was our workplace. The Freedom Tower is just another building, but the memorial is what's most important to us. The one thing that I remember saying to myself after 9/11 is that not one opportunity that was going to come at me, I was not going to open that door. So if I was offered to start training people on how to sell to real estate agents. In doing that, I realized, wait a minute, I can make a business out of speaking to people, and that's how I became a keynote speaker. A lot of my speeches were about 9/11, but it was also about empowerment and living in the moment. And that actually prompted me to start writing. And
I mean, this is good for her. She's managed to turn a tragedy into like a positive. They do say every cloud has a silver lining. Obviously, this was a very, 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 very big cloud. And, but at least she's managed to kind of to spin something positive out of
so
it.
the writing came about with the co-author of my book saying, we should write a book about your experience. And that's how that came about. The yoga teaching, I just wanted to I wanted to provide a service to others.
Wow, what a story. I know 95 floors is quite high up, but I would probably be way too scared to take the elevator but then again, at that moment, the building hadn't been hit and she managed to get into the elevator as soon as she arrived, which was very lucky. If there was a big queue of people ahead of me to get into the elevator, I probably wouldn't have waited for it to go all the way down and come all the way back up. I probably would have headed for the stairs. But I suppose at that point, they had no idea that Tower 2 was going to get hit. They didn't know. So maybe I would have thought if I were there, that's a one-off event. Let me just get downstairs. So perhaps I would have taken the lift. I would have taken the elevator down. But I don't know. I just feel like if I was waiting there nervously and people were screaming and crying, man, I think I would have just ran for the stairs, man. Because then at least it's in your own hands. Kind of. But the elevator is so much faster. I don't know. But crazy story. You just got to hope and pray that nothing like this ever happens again. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.